So here I am at the CHIO Aachen in Germany. So excited to be here. And one of the things I promised my followers was that I would show you the equipment that I use. So that's what I'm going to be doing next. And I have to tell you also that I am testing out a new mic. So I just want to show you this little thing. And I've got it right here on me. And we're going to see how it works. So now let's move on so I can show you all of the equipment I use. I wanted to start out by going over the equipment that I use. I usually have my 28-400, which I love because when I really want to get pictures that are a little further away, but I don't want to take my 180-600, which I do have here. It's just not in the bag. It's back at the venue in the locker. And so then I can kind of wander around with it and do the 400, whereas the 600 I need to put on a monopod, and that's more when I'm stationary. And this I also like, it's a 200. So these are mirrorless cameras, so they are lighter than your others, and I like to wander around with this and my iPhone because I can get quick pictures and quick video. And there's my Sony, and I use that a lot for mix zone things, or if I have to do a virtual interview, because I know I can always count on it, and I back it up with my iPhone. And I love using my iPhone because I can upload things so quickly to the EQUUS television network, so that works out really well. And I do have a flash, which I rarely use, and this spot here is a battery for my laptop, because of course I have a laptop. And I have a tripod, very lightweight one because weight is really important, and a monopod. All right, so moving on to this bag, the equipment that I use, but I did want to talk a little bit more about bags. Okay, so I like Think Tank bags because, well, this one is great because it's got 4 wheels and I can really use it a lot when I need to drag and I don't want to have to carry it. And then this is also one of the Think Tank accessory bags, which I really love because it handles so many different accessories, and yet it's fairly small and ends up being not too heavy for me. And then you'll see a little later where I put some of the extra stuff. But I start out making sure that I have my EQUUS Television Network vest with me because it's got an inside pocket where I can put my camera and know where it always is and not get it lost. And then I have a lot of little bags where I can stuff things in a lightweight or small enough thing that I can put them in my clothes bags so that I don't have to carry everything with me. That's my cleaner. I like to use it on anything, you know, on the phone, on the little light thing. So I make sure when I take pictures, everything is clean. And then sometimes with my iPhone, I like to put it on top of the monopod or tripod. And so I make sure I've got iPhone holders, and some deodorant never hurts. And then if I need to enlarge things, I always carry one of these magnifiers with me. And of course, one of my very, very favorite things is a gimbal because it makes videos look so smooth. But I am adamant about making sure when I carry some of this extra equipment that I have it in a bag that also has the chargers in it, because you never know when you're going to lose charge and you suddenly need to charge and you don't want to go running around trying to find what you need. This thing here is kind of mixed up with the other things. It's my shoulder, thing that I use to carry my cameras and my gimbal, because I can take those with me and not have to hold them all the time. And I can get some quick video and quick shots. I try to carry something that will give me light if I need it, especially for my virtual interviews, but also sometimes for my mixed zone interviews. Adapters when I'm in another country. I like to have multiple of them because you generally have a lot of things you want to plug in. And then I've got back here an anchor charger, which is really handy for charging my iPhone if I'm in the plane and it's a long flight. There's one of my microphones. I like to use that for the Sony. It's easy to charge if you've got this plug that's got 3 slots in it. And again, I always keep it with the charger so that if I need to charge, it's there. The wires are there, the plug is there. And that's my, remote for my Sony, which really comes in handy. And I've got my reader cards there and my headset and a few other things that are repeats, some plugs that are really handy. And here we have chargers. My small camera has this charger that I can put right in it. And then the larger camera requires this. So there's your charger and there's the battery. And I always have a second battery with me. And here in that bag, hidden away, is the charger for my Sony. And then here are my cards. Very handy. I really don't have that many, but I like to keep them together, and I put them in the slot in my camera bag so that I know exactly where they are if I need them. All right, so going on, here's batteries. I don't necessarily use them very often because I don't use a flash generally when I'm on the road, because you really are not allowed in many of the cases. I am adamant about wires, tons of wires. You just never know when a wire is going to fail, and you need to find one that's going to work right then and there. This little thing is really fabulous, and I always keep it in my pocket because it will allow me to plug in things that I need. It could be for a C charger, or it could be for my iPhone charger, and it's got a USB so you can convert things. It's really handy. And then I have my extension cord and a towel and extra covers and my mug. And then these are screwdrivers. There are two different ones that come in handy, especially for, when you want to set up the tripod or monopod. Sometimes you just need a screwdriver. And then here's more of my microphones. There's a quick and easy one, and this is a new one. It's all condensed in this bag, but it has the ability to work with an iPhone. So I'm going to be testing that one out on this trip. I always like to have 2 portable hard drives, and that's where I generally put all my stuff, so that I don't necessarily have to put it into my laptop and save space. And this is my handy dandy backup pouch that I put a lot of things in. Some may be repeats, some may be things I'm not sure whether I'm going to need, but I'd like to have them with me. And one of the things that I find really important is a backpack. And you really don't have room. You're only allowed pretty much 3 different types of bags when you travel. And so I've gotten away with doing this. I put this into the bag with my camera equipment, empty, and I can fold it and kind of squish it in there. And then when I'm working on putting things in the overhead bin, which is really kind of tough sometimes because it can be pretty heavy, I can just pull out my laptop and maybe a couple of other things and put it in there and lighten the backup pack. So lighten the big bag so that I can put it in the overhead bin. And when I'm done and ready to get off the plane altogether, I can just use it as an extra way to carry things. And, there we go again with this. Those slots carry all of these accessories, or I should say most of them. The rest of them I put in with my clothes so I can kind of lighten things up as much as possible. And that's pretty much everything that I take with me when I travel. It's a lot, but it's a lot less than I used to have. And I do find that I generally need to use all of it. So there you go.